Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about how I overcame my crippling social anxiety, tips for introverts, and also tips for social anxiety in general. So I also have these cats. Come here, baby. There's two cats here, so hopefully they don't knock over the tripod. So I guess quick backstory is just that I used to be very socially anxious. I still have moments where I'm like feeling a little bit frozen, but for the most part it feels like I've very much managed this. Even when I was a kid though, I was always moving around, so I was always like a new girl, and the feeling of like, okay, I'm entering yet another new social container environment, I'm the new girl, and I have to figure out how to like make friends and like assimilate or like figure out how to belong, figure out how to like make friends and survive in this new social environment is like just something I've encountered over and over again. And it's interesting that like I still had social anxiety, but it's something that I've basically encountered and worked on, and now I have a decent amount of like ways I think about it. So I'm going to ramble about that for like a little bit, and hopefully again the cat doesn't. Look at this guy. Hi. Hi, cutie. So I used to. So what I mean, like the reason why I first like pinpointed this as something I might want to work on is because, well, first of all, I was definitely like putting myself in situations that were a little scary. Like I went on a solo travel trip in South Africa, found out that the host I was with had to bail, and so I had to like befriend her social group like really fast. But there was like certain moments, also like sometimes going to parties just like in the Bay Area or something, like I would encounter these moments where I would feel disproportionately dysregulated, and this is still to this day how I kind of find trailheads of like this is an area I should work on in myself, is where I'm like feeling like crippled, like or like feeling like not crippled, feeling like a crippling fear, or like feeling like frozen, in terms of like I can't move, I'm just like paralyzed, standing there, can't get out of my house, or like I like my hands on the doorknob, like intense degrees of like social anxiety. And the way I went about it is a few ways, but one that was really effective for me was existential kink, which is like a framework. It's like another one of the self-healing modalities, but the way I think about it, there's like a book called Existential Kink. It's a little goofy, but I will just summarize the core of it, which I think is like very effective. The idea is like, imagine your mind, like I would say the core idea is like you want exactly what you have, and if you don't make it known, then your subconscious will like do it anyways for you, and then you'll be like, this you'll call it fate. This is like a very like famous young quote, but the existential kink portion is like, what if you were to consider that everything in your life as it is right now is exactly as you want it. Like your subconscious is making it happen for you, and this is exactly where you want to be, and you are creating it for yourself because you want this actually. And how that translated for me in social anxiety was like, what if I want to be like scared and frozen? Like what does that mean? And I played with the idea that maybe I like being like outside the circle. Like I like being ostracized. I like being like like this role or identity of like being someone who isn't in the center of the group. And the kinky part is that you imagine liking it a lot, and then you focus on the sensory and emotional and aesthetic experience of this fear or rut or frustration or whatever, this shadow. And you imagine it like the best movie you've ever seen. Like this crippling fear I'm experiencing right now is like, wow, what a high fidelity, immersive sensory art experience that my mind has created for myself. It's like emotions as aesthetics. And by doing this, and then you focus on this until you like find pleasure in it. And by doing that, you manage to enjoy your shadow. And it's sort of like unbinding, like, you know, when you're washing dishes and you use soap, you like manage to like actually wash off the oil instead of just using water because you know, soap can bind to oil. But what it does is effectively take your fear, and it's as if you had been watching this horror movie and you manage to like zoom out from like your eyes, you manage to unglue your eyes from the screen and like zoom out and be like, oh, this is a movie that I'm watching. I can eat popcorn, I can get up, I can go to the bathroom, I can be less like glued to my fear around this experience. And yeah, I think that was probably the most effective thing for me in being like, oh, what if I'm actually really enjoying this feeling of like not belonging and being an outsider and being like awkward or like being ostracized. Like what if I secretly like this? And it's counterintuitive, but it did work for me in being like, oh no, like I can just belong. Like I released the want to like be an outsider and was okay with like acting like I could be a part of the group. And that helped me a lot. That's one of the main things. Another thing is I did a lot of work on myself. So I would say a lot of things around social anxiety is like, yeah, I don't know, like I would question like there's probably some kind of gap or frustration, like how do you want to be perceived, and then how are you perceived? How do you perceive yourself, and how do others perceive you? And is there a gap there? And is there a frustration there? And like if you want to perceive yourself a certain way, like this lone wolf, and others perceive you as a lone wolf, and you're cool with that, then it's fine. You know, there's like no contention there. However, if you're like, I see myself as like this cool person, but others see me as a loser, and I feel all kinds of conflict tension about that, that's like something for you to explore. For me, I like wanted, I think I realized there was some kind of gap, and I basically was like, no, I actually want to be perceived. I want to put out this, I want to be perceived a certain way, and if others aren't perceiving it, what is that information? And not saying that they're necessarily right, but it's just like good information for me to absorb. And I did make a lot of changes, including like, I got a lot more into like style. Fashion makes a big difference. Like aesthetics, basically like developing my taste and figuring out how to showcase my taste so that it actually reflects how I feel inside, and making that more visible. And yeah, just like accepting that people can't just like they can't just read your mind or like see your insides. Like you you're asking a lot of people if like you're making it really hard for them to get to know you, and like that you're getting mad at them for like not taking the time. It's like you're making it hard for them. And like, yeah, I don't know, you're not like the center of the world. It's not like I'm not the center of the world. It's not like I don't know. People have other people to talk to, so it's up to you how you want to interface with others, and if you want your experience to change in a certain way. If you don't, then that's fine. And like, why? Sounds you probably wouldn't have any inner conflict about that anyways. Okay, what else? Something I also really enjoy doing with social anxiety is Alexander technique, which is like zooming out and like feeling the air and the space behind your back, being aware of the environment that you're in, like so like shifting your awareness from like people, me, you know, to like, we are in this room, like I am in this room, in this city, in this, you know, countryside, wherever it is. Almost like switching your mind from like person mode to like landscape or like environment mode does a lot for releasing like a clenching on other people. It makes you like less, it makes your energy less anxious, I think. There's also just, yeah, like expanding your awareness. That's the Alexander technique. I like sometimes to pretend that I'm a cat, which sounds silly, but it's like cats just don't give a fuck, and they're just hanging out, and if you look at them, they look back at you, or they don't. You know, like there's something extremely relaxed and okay with everything about a cat. You can also read read social cues or move to a different social circle. Like I've basically made my way towards a social environment that I thrive in, and understanding that if one space doesn't work for me, that doesn't mean that like I'm a loser. It means like maybe this isn't the right match. And yeah, do I have anything else on social anxiety? Practice, put yourself out there, socialize. Oh, something that helped me with parties was like, this is like tips for introverts. I would lose my voice from talking too much, and so I started like, during like a highly social time in my life, I started to carry like mints, like, or like cough drops to help me, because then I could like talk for longer without losing my voice. I also learned to take a lot more breaks. For me, this used to be like cigarette breaks, but now I'm like, oh, I'll just go on a walk or go take a breather, and it's fine. Go get a drink, like from like the neighborhood bodega. You can like cook or like do an activity or like look at a book, and that is easier than just straight up carrying on a conversation sometimes. A tip from somatic IFS is to shift your awareness from like the front of your body to like the back of your body, so now you're relating from your spine, and that can be really helpful. Sometimes it feels like there's a lot of like leaky energy just like from like interfacing, like almost like from your face onwards, and like if you shift your awareness to like the back of your body, or if you like literally just like turn so that you're both sitting side by side, it can be very helpful. Yeah, I think that's it for today's vlog. Hopefully that's helpful for some people, and yeah, have a good day. Bye.